Hello, everyone, and welcome into the MSA Sports Network's coverage of 2016 Washington Wild Things Baseball. Today, we are live from Consol Energy Park in Washington, Pennsylvania, as your Washington Wild Things take on the River City Rascals today in Game 3 of their 3-game series. Hi, everyone, I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through all the action tonight and throughout the 2016 season. Last night, these two teams played in a doubleheader as the teams split the doubleheader. Wild Things winning Game 1 by the score of 2-0, and the River City Rascals winning Game 2 by the score of 6-0. Have recaps of both of those games coming up. Also, a sit-down with the newest Washington Wild Things. Wild Things have signed catcher Zach Fish to back up their starter Kyle Pollock. So we'll have our sit-down with Zach Fish coming up as well. Also, a look at the lineups and the first pitch. It's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Now, we talked about it yesterday, a split of the doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Game 1 going the Washington Wild Things way as they would win by a score of 2-0. Wild Things got both their runs in the second inning. Logan Uxa struck out to start things. Then Grant Fink, a solo home run over the left field wall. It was Fink's 5th home run of the season, and that jumped the Wild Things out to an early 1-0 lead. Then Jimmy Yezzo would walk. Kyle Pollock would then hit a double into right field. A great throw by Robbie Enslin cut down Jimmy Yezzo at the plate for the second out in that inning. So there were 2 outs, and then Austin Wobrock came up and hit a double himself. This time, Enslin not able to throw out Kyle Pollock at the plate. That made the score 2-0 Wild Things. Jamadric Magruder would fly out to end the inning. But on the night, Matt Fraud, the star of the night for your Washington Wild Things, he was fabulous. Faced 4 men in the first inning, including 2 strikeouts. Also gave up a single and a pop-out, and then retired the Rascals 1-2-3 in the second and third. Faced 4 batters in the fourth inning, walking Mike Gergella to start things, and then getting a fly-out, grounded to a fielder's choice by Kyle Goodell, and a Josh Ludy ground-out. Then retired him 1-2-3 in the fifth. Did reach a jam in the sixth inning, however, as Robbie Enslin reached on an error initially as Ricky Rodriguez, a throw into dirt to Logan Uxa. The ball skipped by Uxa, rolled all the way to the Wild Things bullpen. Uxa, however, a very heads-up play, was able to get back to the Wild Things bullpen, retrieve the baseball, and then fire a strike to Ricky Rodriguez over at third base that retired Robbie Enslin for out number 1. Alexi Colon would then fly out. Mike Gergella would walk, and Josh Silver would single. So there are runners at first and second with 2 men out before Frauden bared down and got Kyle Goodell swinging to end the inning. Then Frauden, going for the complete game, victory, faced 4 men in the 7th inning. Josh Ludy would fly out to start things. Cliff Freeman would fly out. A double by Danny Rosenbaum at a runner at second with 2 men out before Jason Marjano would fly out to end the innings. The final score, Wild Things 2, River City Rascals nothing. Matt Frauden, complete game, went 7 innings, gave up no runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, and tied his career high with 7 strikeouts. With the win, Matt Frauden improving to 4-4 on the season. Then it was time for Game 2 of the doubleheader, and that one didn't quite go the way the Washington Wild Things had hoped it would. It was starter Luke Wilkins on the mound, and the first inning went pretty well for, Luke Wilkins, as he would only face 4 batters. Alexi Colon would double to start things, and Josh Ludy and Josh Silver grounded out back-to-back. So 2 outs and a runner at third, before Kyle Goodell would fly out to end the inning. Then Wilkins allowed a run in the top of the second. Will Martin walked to start things, then Clint Freeman flew out, and Braxton Martinez struck out. With 2 outs, Jason Marjano came through with an RBI triple that scored Will Martin and made the score 1-0 River City. Robbie Enslin would then fly out to end the inning. River City would add 1 more on in the third inning as Alexi Colon walked to start things, and Josh Ludy grounded out. Josh Silver reached on a 2-base error, and that allowed Colon to come in for the second run of the game. It was 2-0 River City. A single by Kyle Goodell followed that up, and then Will Martin struck out to end the inning. Then in the fourth inning, the big inning for River City, they added 3 runs against Luke Wilkins as Clint Freeman started things off with a single. Then Braxton Martinez singled himself. The runners at first and second, nobody out. Then it looked like Wilkins was going to get out of it as he got 2 strikeouts, striking out Jason Marjano and Robbie Enslin. So there were 2 outs, runners at first and second, before Alexi Colon came up and came through with a 2 RBI triple, scoring both Freeman and Martinez. and that made the score 4-0 River City. Josh Ludy followed that up with an RBI single of his own, and then it was 5-0 River City, 2 outs in the 4th inning. Josh Silver would follow that up with a single before Kyle Goodell popped out to end the inning, and that would be the end of the night for Luke Wilkins. In total, Wilkins went 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, 4 earned on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts for Luke Wilkins. Then the Wild Things bullpen came in. Andrew Wick relieving Wilkins in the 5th inning. Wick faced 4 men in the 5th inning. Will Martin grounded out. Clint Freeman doubled. Braxton Martinez struck out, and Jason Marjano grounded out to end the inning. Devin Davis would then come in to pitch the 7th. Davis a clean 1-2-3 inning for him. And then Zach Groats came in for the 9th, where River City would score another run off the Wild Things all-star closer Josh Silver grounded out to start things, and Kyle Goodell singled. Will Martin singled. There were runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and Clint Freeman hit a sacrifice fly, scoring Goodell, and that made the score 6-0 before Braxton Martinez hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice. That would end the inning. River City winning that second game by a score of 6-0. Winning pitcher in that one was Joe Pavlovich for River City. He was very good. Went 6 innings, just giving up 1 hit, no runs, no earned on 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So good outing for Joe Pavlovich. Nick Kennedy came in for the 9th and pitched a scoreless 9th inning, walking the first man he faced, and then retiring the other Wild Things in order. So the Wild Things enter today 28-26, currently in 2nd place in the Frontier League East, 1 game back of the Joliet Slammers, and the Slammers a tough task tonight as they're taking on the Southern Illinois Miners in the first of a 3-game series. Going to take our first break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to tell you about a roster move your Washington Wild Things made today. So keep tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network for more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Wild Things making a roster move today. Yesterday they had to place catcher Alex McKeon on the 60-day DL, so looking for a backup, they have acquired Mike Fish. Fish played 3 years in the Chicago White Sox minor league organization for the White Sox organization. Mike Fish had a career .234 average with 18 homers and 74 RBIs, splitting time between their rookie league team and Single A. So he will join the Wild Things and serve as the backup catcher. He's also spent time at first base and in both corner outfield positions. So a versatile player in Zach Fish as he joins your Wild Things today. Going to take another break, and next we have our sit-down with Zach Fish, and you'll hear that when we come back on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, currently joined by the newest Washington Wild Things, Zach Fish. And Zach, what were your emotions when you first heard your signing with the Wild Things?
I was pretty excited. One of my best friends is on this team, and that's, how I found out about him. I was able to reach out, and, they gave me the opportunity to continue playing. And so that's the only thing you can ask for in this game is just to have another at-bat, just to have another inning. So for me, it's just, I'm really excited to be here, and I can't wait to, get underway and start playing.
And you arrived at the ballpark yesterday. What were your first thoughts walking into Consol Energy Park, seeing the fan base before the games last night?
It was good. The ballpark, it's a beautiful ballpark, and the fans seemed like they're, in good energy, and everybody was, cheering us on the entire time. So it was good to see that the fan base is behind us, and, that we get to play in this beautiful ballpark every night. So I was really excited, and can't wait to get out there and start playing.
And you caught 3 years in the Chicago White Sox organization. What do you bring in from affiliated ball that you're going to transfer here to Frontier League action?
Realistically, I think it's just, just trying to do my best to help the pitching staff out. Whether it's, just talking through the game with them or, them walking me through, how they pitch. The biggest thing as a catcher is you have to be able to make adjustments. You have to know your pitching staff through and through. So it's, knowing that you have to set up differently for different guys and the way they like to pitch. So for me, it's just really trying to get an understanding of every guy on the staff and just knowing what they like and what they don't like and just working with them to try, to be the best catcher I possibly can for them because, that's pretty important.
Currently joined by catcher Zach Fish. And Zach, you're out in the bullpen last night, catching a couple of bullpen sessions and talking around with the guys. What's it been like early on getting to know the guys here on the Wild Things?
It's been good. They're a great group of guys, and they really embraced me. And the first day I was here, it was a long day for me, traveling from the West Coast. So for them just to, be pretty laid back and just to get to know me and for me to get to know them, it's a good group, and I'm really looking forward to playing with them this summer.
And finally, watching Kyle Pollock catch both games yesterday, anything you picked up on either Luke Wilkins or Matt Frodden yesterday?
Nothing too big. They throw strikes, they keep the ball low. They're very aggressive, and he called a great game yesterday. So for me, it's just really trying to learn from them. Talk to them. Work through things, and just for them to get used to me and me to get used to them. Once we start working together and we start clicking, I think hopefully we'll be able to be pretty successful.
Thanks, Zach. Good luck today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Wild Things and Rascals playing a doubleheader in yesterday's action as the Wild Things winning Game 1 by the score of 2-0. River City took Game 2 of that one by a score of 6-0. So the rubber match today, Wild Things a record of 28-26. River City standing in with a record of 26-28, the opposite of your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things being introduced on the field right now, getting ready for this series. Up next, a tough task for your Wild Things as they'll take on the Southern Illinois Miners in Southern Illinois tomorrow night, Saturday, and Sunday. A 3-game series. All 3 games can be heard right here on the MSA Sports Network. And then back home, July 26th through the 28th, when they take on the Normal Corn Belters back here at Consol Energy Park. All those games as well can be heard on the MSA Sports Network. Game 3 of this series getting ready. Wild Things a game back of the Joliet Slammers in the Frontier League East. Slammers currently taking on the Southern Illinois Miners tonight in Joliet. So we will watch that game. If the Wild Things win and Joliet loses, the Wild Things will be the first place team here in the Frontier League East. So a big game for your Wild Things, looking to take this series from the Rascals. Right now, I'm going to take you down to the field here at Consol Energy Park for your national anthem. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Now down to the field, and public address announcer Bill DeFabio.
Protect Auto Glass salutes the national anthem and reminds you that they are the only locally owned American auto glass company sponsoring the Washington Wild Things. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please rise. Gentlemen and boys, please remove your caps as we honor America. Performing tonight's national anthem, let's welcome Mr. John Herman. John? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for action here in Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. The Washington Wild Things align like this defensively, and the outfield left to right, Grant Fink, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Wolbrock. Right side by Jamadric Magruder and Logan Uxon. It'll be Kyle Pollock behind the plate catching tonight's starter, Trevor Foss. Foss enters with a record of 7-3, 1 save on the year, has thrown 7 complete games on the season, a .257 ERA, has appearing in his 14th game, making his 13th start, has thrown 87 1/3 innings of work, giving up 29 runs, 25 earned, on 80 hits, 62 strikeouts, and 10 walks on the season. The lineup he'll face for the River City Rascals looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Alexi Colon. Batting second and catching, Josh Ludi. Hitting third at shortstop, Josh Silver. Batting fourth in left field, Kyle Goodell. Batting fifth at first base, Will Martin. Hitting sixth out in right field, Clint Freeman. Batting seventh, designated hitter Danny Rosenbaum. Batting eighth at second base, Jason Marjano. And batting ninth at third base is Braxton Martinez. On the hill for River City tonight is right-handed pitcher Tim Coons. Coons has a record of 3-3 and a .446 ERA. Ready for baseball here at Consol Energy Park as Alexi Colon makes his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the first. Colon hitting .266, 10 home runs, and 27 RBIs. First man to face off against Trevor Foss here on an overcast day at Consol Energy Park. Clouds looming over the stadium, but we still got a little bit of sun peeking out over the right field wall. A great day for baseball. Trevor Foss looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch is in there for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. First pitch tonight thrown at 7:08 p.m. Eastern Time. And the temperature outside, 77 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. Foss gets this next pitch in there for a strike and is quickly ahead of Alexi Colon. No balls and 2 strikes. Colon, the team leader for the Rascals in terms of home runs. Foss set, here's the 0-2. And this ball grounded to second base. Jamadric Magruder goes to a knee to make the stop. Throw on to first, and it's in time for the first out of the ball game. 1 up, 1 down for the River City Rascals in the top of the first, and that brings up the catcher, Josh Ludi. Ludi on the season hitting .293, a homer, and 22 RBIs. So it takes 3 pitches for Trevor Foss to get the first out of this game. Foss coming off a little bit of a rough start where he gave up 4 runs against the Southern Illinois Miners, looking for a bounce back tonight against River City, as he's been the Wild Things' most consistent pitcher. 7 wins on the season, 7 complete games. He's set, here's the pitch, and the ball flies out of Trevor Foss's hand and back towards second base as he goes through his windup. He was going to his windup, and the ball just kind of slipped out of his hand there, so it'll be a redo as Ludi and Foss both getting a laugh out of that one, and they'll do it again. Foss looks in, has his sign, here's the pitch. And Ludi grounds this one to short. Austin Wolbrock handles it. Throw on to first. And quickly 2 up and 2 down for River City here in the first inning. Just takes 1 pitch to retire Josh Ludi. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Silver. Silver on the year, currently hitting .452. 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. That .452 average currently good for first on this River City Rascals team. 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score between River City and your Wild Things. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch. And taking inside is Josh Silver. 1 ball and no strikes. First ball thrown today by Trevor Foss. 3 strikes on the ground out by Colon and a strike on the Ludi ground out. The pitch, and that one's outside for a ball as well. 2 balls and no strikes. The key for Trevor Foss on the mound today is stay ahead. He does fall into some trouble sometimes when he's working behind in the count. So if he can stay mostly ahead of these River City batters, he should have a good day. The 2-0. And that one's outside, falling behind Josh Silver, 3 balls and no strikes. Silver's .452 average, good for first on this River City Rascals team. Silver was picked up by the Chicago Cubs, played in single A for the Cubs, but then was released and re-signed by River City right before this series. Here's the 3-0. And that one is just high for a ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Josh Silver. And there's a 2-out base runner here for the River City Rascals. That'll bring up the left fielder, Kyle Goodell. Goodell enters this one, currently hitting .271, 5 home runs, and 23 RBIs. No Wild Things pitcher has been able to retire these Rascals 1, 2, 3 in any of the 3 games in the first inning, as they've gotten the first 4 men up in the first inning in each of the first 2 games. Foss has his sign, checks Silver at first, and the pitch on the way. And this ball popped up. Shallow right field, Jamadric Magruder giving chase. He'll go out by the Wild Things bullpen and make a nice running catch for out number 3. So no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base after the walk. After half an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things coming to bat, and River City nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POWX is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POWX can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POWX.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of the first, River City nothing, and your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. The River City Rascals will line up defensively like this. In the outfield left to right, it's Kyle Goodell, Alexi Colon, and Clint Freeman. Left side of the infield held down by Braxton Martinez, and Josh Silver. Right side held down by Jason Marjano and Will Martin. It'll be Josh Ludy behind the plate. Catching today's starter, Tim Coons. Coons enters this one with a record of 3-3, a 4.46 ERA, appearing in his 9th game, making his 9th start. Has thrown 48 1/3 innings of work, giving up 30 runs, 24 earned on 53 hits, 16 walks, and 41 strikeouts on the season for Coons. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder, batting second at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting third in center field, Chris Grayson. Batting fourth, right fielder Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth at first base, Logan Uxa. Batting sixth in left, Grant Fink. Hitting seventh, designated hitter Jimmy Yezzo. Batting eighth and catching, Kyle Pollock. And batting ninth at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. On the mound, as you saw for the Wild Things, is Trevor Foss. Foss enters this one with a record of 7-3, 1 save on the year, and a 2.57 ERA. As the Wild Things are ready to take their at-bats here in the bottom of the first. Coaching on the base paths for your Wild Things tonight at third base, is manager Greg Langben, and over at first base is Tim Pasarnovich. Tim Pasarnovich, a coach who stays here at home for the Washington Wild Things, does not travel on the road. Stepping in to lead things off for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the first is their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder, in his short Wild Things career so far, hitting .318 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. This is Magruder's 8th game with the Wild Things. Tim Coons looks in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Magruder takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Jamadric Magruder. Magruder trying to work the count out of that leadoff spot. Here's the pitch, and that one is just high as well. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Jamadric Magruder. Magruder trying to work Tim Coons here in the leadoff spot. That's really what the Wild Things leadoff hitters have been trying to do all season long. Here's the 2-0, and that one's outside for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Jamal Austin was very good at that when he was a Wild Thing before he retired this season. He ended his career actually with a 12-game hitting streak. The 3-0, and that one's a called strike on the inside corner, so Coons finally gets one in here against Magruder. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. No score, bottom of the first. Coons looks in, has his sign. Here's the 3-1. And that one's high, ball 4. So a leadoff walk gives the Wild Things a base runner here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in the year hitting .297, 5 home runs, and 21 RBIs. Wild Things get the leadoff man on base here in the bottom of the first, something they didn't do at all in yesterday's game. In fact, game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, they only got 1 hit. That hit was courtesy of Andrew Heck. So Jamadric Magruder takes his lead off of first. Tim Coons has his sign. He's set, and the pitch. And Rodriguez takes this first one on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Ricky Rodriguez, one of 4 representatives for your Washington Wild Things in the 2016 All-Star Game. Tim Coons looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. Throw over to first, and Jamadric Magruder gets back. Magruder so far in his Wild Things career, no stolen bases up to this point, but has shown speed in the past, as he had 23 stolen bases for the Grand Prairie Airhogs last year. Tim Coons has his sign, checks first, and the 0-1. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike at the knees, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Ricky Rodriguez out there at third base tonight, played third base in Game 1 of this series, then was the designated hitter for last night's Game 2 of the doubleheader. Coons has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And that one's called strike 3. Ricky Rodriguez strikes out, and that's the first out here on the bottom of the first. Ricky Rodriguez not really agreeing with the call, but he'll walk away having struck out looking, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far on the year hitting .286, a homer, and 5 RBIs. Jamadric Magruder, the runner at first for your Wild Things. 1 man out. The umpires for tonight's game behind home plate, Rob Wrights, and on the bases, John Sapphires, the exact same umpiring crew in all 3 games of this 3-game series. Tim Coons looking in, has his sign, he's set. Checks Magruder at first and the pitch. And Grayson lines this one into left field. Goodell coming on, and he will make the running catch. A very nice catch by Goodell. Throw back in, and Magruder's able to scramble back to first. So there are now 2 away here in the bottom of the first, and that brings the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far in the year hitting .302, 8 home runs, and 27 RBIs. His 8 home runs currently tied for the team lead in home runs. He's tied with Jimmy Yezzo. 2 outs, bottom of the first, no score. Jamadric Magruder still over there at first base. A very nice running catch by Kyle Goodell out there in left field, going to the left center field gap to rob Chris Grayson of a hit. Popkins ground ball right to the second baseman, Merjano, and Merjano will throw on to first. That's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You know the drill. Would you like a...
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. Last inning for the Rascals, Alexi Colon grounded out to start things, and Josh Ludy grounded out. Josh Silver would walk, and Kyle Goodell would pop out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Will Martin, Clint Freeman, and Danny Rosenbaum. 5, 6, and 7 facing off against Trevor Foss. Foss needed just 3 pitches to get through that first inning, or just 9 pitches to get through that first inning of work. So he will look to continue that, efficiency here in inning number 2. Wednesdays are bucket hat days at the park this summer. For $15, you can get a reserved seat ticket and a Wild Things bucket hat. What a great deal. And also on Sundays, bring your church bulletin to the ballpark, and we'll give you a $2 discount on your tickets. The next bucket hat night will be Wednesday, July 27th. Game 2 of the 3-game series with the normal Corn Belters after the Wild Things travel to Southern Illinois tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Coming to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the second is first baseman Will Martin. Martin on the year hitting .317, 3 home runs, and 18 RBIs. Martin was the designated hitter in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader and did not play in the first half of that doubleheader. So he's stepping in against Trevor Foss to lead things off here in the top of the second. Foss has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Martin takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Trevor Foss just 10 10 walks in 87 and a third innings of work. Got a walk in the first inning of this one. Doesn't want to make that a habit here in this one. The 1-0, and that one swung on and fouled away. Count goes even at 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Will Martin. Wild Things trying to take the series from River City. Meanwhile, Joliet, the team they're chasing for first place, is currently playing Southern Illinois in Joliet in Game 3 of their series. Wild Things sitting 1 game back of the Joliet Slammers. And in that one right now, it's still very early on between Southern Illinois and Joliet. Here's the 1-1, and that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count on Will Martin. Anyways, right now, Southern Illinois and Joliet have not gotten started in this one yet. That game's scheduled for 8:05 Eastern Time. Foss set, here's the 2-1, and that one's a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Will Martin, Trevor Foss chasing history tonight as he currently has 7 complete games. Frontier League record is 9, so if he can get his 8th complete game tonight, he will be 1 complete game away from tying that record. Here's the 2-2. And this one grounded foul off to the left, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Will Martin making Trevor Foss battle here in the top of the second. As the 6th pitch of the at-bat's coming up, Foss just needed 9 pitches to get through that first inning. Pretty decent crowd here at Consol Energy Park tonight, about halfway full for tonight's action here on Thirsty Thursday. Foss looking in, has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And this ball grounded towards third base, and this one will be foul as well as Rodriguez fields it in foul territory, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Trevor Foss only threw 9 pitches in that first inning. 7th pitch of this at-bat with Will Martin is coming up here. As Foss tries to retire him, just walked 1 man in that first inning. As Martin stepping back in. Trevor Foss looks in, has his sign, he said. Here's the 2-2 once more. And Martin checks his swing, and it's a called strike 3. So Will Martin strikes out. First out here in the top of the second. Also first strikeout of the day for Trevor Foss, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Clint Freeman. Freeman on the year, currently hitting .285, 4 home runs, and 22 RBIs. We saw Freeman play at first base in both games yesterday for River City, appearing out in right field this evening. 1 out, top of the second, no score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this ball grounded towards second. Jamadrick Magruder charging, has it, flips onto first, and that's in time for out number 2. So now it takes just 1 pitch to retire Clint Freeman, and there are 2 away here in the top of the second. That'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Danny Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum played third base in Game 1 of this series, did not play in Game 2 of the doubleheader last night's game. Rosenbaum enters this one hitting .316, no home runs, and 4 RBIs. 2 men out, top of the second, no score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Foss has his sign, he said, here's the pitch. And Rosenbaum takes this one low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Rosenbaum. Out there is the DH for River City. Foss has his sign. He said, here's the 1-0. And Rosenbaum takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 men out. Trevor Foss working efficiently here so far in this one. Foss has his sign, the 1-1. And this one hit towards right field down the line. It's hooking, and it'll go back behind the Wild Things bullpen, foul. Count stays at 1 ball, or goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. On the bases for the River City Rascals coaching, it is manager, Steve Brooks at third and bench coach Alex Ferguson over at first. The pitch, and this one grounded to third. Ricky Rodriguez will handle it, throw across to first, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Rascals here in the second, and after 1.5 the score. River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose Pro Grass, first in turf.
ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently going to the bottom of the second, and the score: your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the River City Rascals nothing. Here in the bottom of the second, due up for the Wild Things, Logan Uxa, Grant Fink, and Jimmy Yezzo, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Tim Coons. Coons needed just 10 pitches through the first inning for the River City Rascals. Just got Jamadric Magruder to walk to lead things off, then struck out Ricky Rodriguez, got Chris Grayson a fly out, and Dave Popkins would ground out to end the inning. So 5, 6, and 7 due up for your Wild Things here in the top of inning number 2. Hey fans, Washington County's got something for you. Indoors, outdoors, gaming, shopping, this is the place for your next adventure. Brought to you by Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency. Visit them at visitwashingtoncountypa.com. And if you're in the Washington area on August 5th and 6th, Wild Things will be in River City to take on these Rascals. Head down to Waynesburg University. They're putting on the production of The Curious Savage August 5th and 6th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets can be bought by calling director Edward Powers or going on ticketleap.com. August 5th and 6th, 7:30 p.m. that show. Here's the pitch to Logan Uxa, and Uxa takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Logan Uxa. Uxa on the year is currently hitting .266, 3 homers and 9 RBIs, and hits this one to right field. Going back is Freeman a couple steps in front of the track, and he will make the catch for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink enters this one hitting .204, 5 home runs and 13 RBIs. Hit his 5th home run of the season in Game 1 of the doubleheader in last night's contest, helping the Wild Things get to that 2-0 win. He was at third base for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Back out in left field here tonight. Tim Coons looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch to Fink. And Fink takes this one for a strike at the knees. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Both Grant Fink and Trevor Foss rolling through the first 2 innings. Coons has his sign, the 0-1. And Fink takes this one on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Grant Fink. Fink trying to take over that left fielder's role. It's been Fink and Heck playing substitutively in that position. Fink checks his swing. Did he go around? No, says John Sapphire out on the bases, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Grant Fink, the right-handed batter, facing off against Tim Coons, the right-handed pitcher. 1 out, bottom of the second. Coons has his sign, the 1-2 pitch. And Fink takes this one for a called strike 3 at the knees. He strikes out, and that is out number 2. Second strikeout of the day for Tim Coons, and that brings up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo on the year currently hitting .217, 8 home runs, and 26 RBIs. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Yezzo, that DH spot. We've seen him there a lot more often than at first base in this latter half of July. Here's the pitch. And Yezzo takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. We saw a pitcher's duel in Game 1 of this series so far early on. Another pitcher's duel here in Game 2. Coons set in the 0-1. And this one grounded foul off to the right. Count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out, bottom of the second. Jimmy Yezzo, the DH, at the plate. Wild Things looking for the first hit. River City does not have a hit either, as both teams trying to get in the hit column in this one. Coons has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And Yezzo takes this one way outside for a ball. One ball, 2 strikes. Coons trying to get him to chase, but Yezzo not biting on that one. Coons ready, and the 1-2 pitch. And Yezzo takes this one for a called strike 3 at the knees, and that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the second, and after 2 innings of play, the score, River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Your Washington Wild Things return home July 26th through the 28th to start a 3-game series with the Normal Corn Belters. Action kicks off on Tuesday, July 26th for the first home game here at Consol Energy Park on the season. 7:05 first pitch. Come out and support Chris Grayson, Jamadrick Magruder, Ashton Parrott, and the rest of your Washington Wild Things. The series will continue Wednesday, July 27th at 7:05 for Bucket Hat Night. For $15, you get a bucket hat and a reserve seat ticket. The series will conclude on Thursday, July 28th. And for Thirsty Thursday, all beer and soda here at the park is just $1. Come out and support your Wild Things all season long. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Washington Wild Things Baseball, let's get wild. We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and currently no score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Trevor Foss on the mound last inning. River City went down 1-2-3. Will Martin struck out, Clint Freeman grounded out, and Danny Rosenbaum grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the third against Trevor Foss, Jason Marjano, Braxton Martinez, and Alexi Colon, 8, 9, and 1. Facing off against Foss. Now, Foss trying to bounce back. Last time out, a rough start against Southern Illinois. Went 7 1/3, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts in a loss that dropped his record to 7-3 on the season. So Foss looking to bounce back, looking for his 8th complete game of the season, which would put him 1 behind the record for complete games in a season, which is 9. Stepping in to lead off here in the top of the third is second baseman Jason Marjano. Marjano enters this one currently hitting .275, 3 home runs, and 26 RBIs. Trevor Foss looking in, has his sign. He said, here's the pitch. And Marjano takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. We see Marjano at second base in all 3 games in this 3-game series between these two teams. Foss has his sign, the 0-1. And this one grounded to second. Jamadrick Magruder has it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the third, and that brings up the third baseman, Braxton Martinez. Martinez on the year, currently hitting .233, no home runs, and 6 RBIs. Martinez, one of 2 players on this River City roster who has not hit a home run this season. A very powerful team. 10 homers for Alexi Colon. 3 players have 5. And Clint Freeman 4. Jason Marjano and Will Martin each have 3. The pitch, and that one's a called strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Braxton Martinez. Played in Game 2 of the doubleheader last night against the Wild Things. Foss has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's taken to the dirt for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man out. Top of the third. Foss has his sign and the 1-1. And this ball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. Foss working that outside corner here against Braxton Martinez. It's something he likes to do on the mound. Works corner to corner and can do it efficiently working off the fastball. Foss has his sign, the 1-2. And that one's in the dirt. A check swing by Martinez. Did he go around? No, says John Sapphire, and the count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 man out top of the third. Braxton Martinez, the number 9 hitter in this River City order. Foss has his sign. He said, here's the 2-2. And that one swung on and missed. Martinez strikes out, and that is the second out here in the top of the third. Second strikeout today for Trevor Foss, and that'll go back to the top of the order as that'll bring up center fielder Alexi Colon. For Alexi Colon, he played in both games of the doubleheader yesterday. In Game 2 of that doubleheader, Colon would end up going 2 for 3, a double, a 2 RBI triple, a ground out, and a walk and a run scored on the day. 2 outs here in the top of the third. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Foss puts his first pitch in, and it's on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Alexi Colon. Weird to see a leadoff man lead the team in home runs, but Colon has done just that this season. The 0-1, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the third, no score. Each team still looking for its first hit in this game. Trevor Foss shakes off the first sign, now has one. Here's the 1-1. And this one fouled back to the screen. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Alexi Colon. 2 outs, top of the third here from Consol Energy Park. Trevor Foss facing off against Tim Coons. Foss looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And that one's just high for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foss trying to get Colon to chase that high fastball, but Colon would not bite on the pitch. Foss has his sign and the 2-2. And Colon pops this one up. Foul territory off to the left. Rodriguez giving chase over by the bullpen for River City, and he'll make the catch, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Rascals here in the third, and after 2.5 the score. Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the River City Rascals nothing. Last inning, the Wild Things would go 1-2-3. Logan Uxa flew out, Grant Fink struck out, and Jimmy Yezzo struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Kyle Pollock, Austin Wolbrock, and Jamadrick Magruder, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Tim Coons. Now, Coons having the same success Trevor Foss has had so far, thrown 10 pitches in each of the first 2 innings in this one, allowing just 1 base runner via the walk. Last time out for Coons, a little bit of a struggled start for him as well. He faced the Schaumburg Boomers on July the 15th, went 5 innings in that one, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned on 5 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So Coons looking for a bounce-back start of his own here against the Wild Things tonight. It's actually the 15th game in a row that these River City Rascals have taken on a team from the Frontier League East Division. They are members of the Frontier League West Division, currently, currently in 4th place over in the Frontier League West. Kyle Pollock stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 3. Pollock on the season currently hitting .242, a home run, and 5 RBIs. Pollock started both halves of the doubleheader last night and starting today again in Game 3 of this series. Tim Coons looking in. Coons has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Pollock pops this first pitch up. On the left side, Josh Silver going out to shallow left field, and he will make the catch for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for your Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wolbrock. Wolbrock on the year, .203, 1 home run, and 12 RBIs, drove in a run in Game 1 of the doubleheader in last night's contest. 1 out, bottom of the third, Wolbrock at the plate, no score. Wild Things still looking for their first hit in this contest. 1 out, bottom of the third here from Consol Energy Park. Coons has his sign, he's set, here's the pitch. And Wolbrock grounds his first pitch foul off to the right, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things shortstop, Wolbrock. Has that average sitting at .203. Struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season to find his bat at the plate, but since has gotten that average up from below 200. Coons set. Here's the 0-1. Wolbrock showing bunt and gets one down. Josh Ludy comes from the crouch. He'll throw to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2-3 the put out, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder no official at-pat to this point as he walked his first time up, and in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, Magruder would go 0 for 2. Walked, also flew out and popped out in that one. 2 outs, bottom of the third. Magruder's been the only base runner for your Wild Things so far. A leadoff walk on 5 pitches got Magruder on base. Ever since then, Tim Coons has set down the last 8 Wild Things batters. Coons takes the mound, bottom of the third, 2 outs. Coons has his sign, he's set. Here's the pitch. And Magruder showing bunt, and he takes this one at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Jamadrick Magruder out of that leadoff spot for your Wild Things. Right-hander Tim Coons, Coons has his sign, the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball, 1 strike. So on that first pitch, third baseman Braxton Martinez charging on the play, but this time he stays back as that second pitch of the at-bat comes through. Coons set in the 1-1, and Magruder fouls this one off to the right. Count goes to 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count, 2 men out, bottom of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Last game of this 10-game homestand. Wild Things on a 3-game road trip to Southern Illinois following tonight's action. Coons has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 strike pitch. And Magruder lines this one down the left field line. That'll go foul, so the count will remain 1-2. Magruder staying alive here against Tim Coons. Making Coons work, trying to get that pitch count up and tire him out early. 1-2 strikes, 2 men out. Coons has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And Magruder grounds this one to first. Handled over there by Martin, and he'll take it to the bag himself, and that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things in the third, and after 3 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fourth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the River City Rascals nothing. Trevor Foss entering his 4th inning of work. To this point, has only thrown 33 pitches through 3 innings of work, so being very efficient on the mound. 9 pitches in the first, 12 pitches in each of the last 2 innings. His only base runner allowed, a walk to Josh Silver in the first inning, and since then, he has retired 7 straight River City Rascals. Looking to continue that here in the 4th. Due up for the Rascals here in the top of the 4th. Josh Ludy, Josh Silver, and Kyle Goodell, 2, 3, and 4, facing off against Trevor Foss. Now, as we were saying, Foss has been the best pitcher for these Washington Wild Things this season. Leads the team in wins. Is currently, 4th on the team in ERA with a 2.57 ERA. Leads the team in strikeouts with 62. In currently only 10 walks on the season, puts him good for 5th on the team. Leads the team in innings pitched with 87 and a third, and 3rd in the team on appearances, tied with Brian O'Keefe. Foss and O'Keefe each have 13 appearances on the season, and Foss even getting it done as a closer, as he has 1 save on the season. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Josh Ludy takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. Josh Ludy was behind the plate for Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday. Ludy went 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Foss has his sign, the 0-1, and Ludy takes this one for a strike as well. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the River City catcher. Josh Ludy, also the hitting coach for these River City Rascals, so player coach for Josh Ludy. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Ludy a ground ball towards the middle. Austin Wobrock a diving attempt, and it's off his glove into center field, a base hit. That's the first hit of the ball game for either team. Josh Ludy leading off the 4th with a single. Austin Wobrock doing all he could to try to keep that ball in the infield, but it hit off the tip of his glove, and Ludy able to get that base hit into center field. That'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Silver, with nobody out and a runner at first. Silver so far in the day is no official at-bat. He walked his first time, and in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday went 1 for 4, singled, reached on an error, and grounded out twice. Foss has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. Silver showing bunt, but he takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Josh Silver. First hit for either team today, coming from Josh Ludy on that ground ball towards the middle. Trevor Foss looking into Kyle Pollock. Foss has his sign, he's set. Checks first, and the pitch. And that one swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Josh Silver. Nobody out top of the 4th. Josh Ludy reaching base with the leadoff single for River City. Ricky Rodriguez playing in on the grass here against Josh Silver. Middle infield normal depth, and Logan Uxa holding Ludi on at first base. Foss has his sign, and the 1-1. Silver showing bunt again, and this time he'll foul tip it into the glove of Kyle Pollock, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Josh Silver. Nobody out, top of the fourth from Consol Energy Park. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Trevor Foss looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1-2 strike pitch. And Silver grounds this one foul off to the left, so the count will remain 1-2. 1-2 strikes, nobody out, top of the fourth. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Wild Things and Rascals splitting the doubleheader yesterday. Wild Things winning game 1 by a score of 2-0, and River City taking game 2 by the score of 6-0. Foss has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And Silver takes this one low in the dirt. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trevor Foss, after giving up that leadoff single, trying to get an out here. Would love a ground ball if he could get it from Silver. Foss has his sign. He's set. Checks Ludi at first. And the 2-2. And this one grounded softly to the left side, and that one will go foul, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Trevor Foss working deep into the count here with Josh Silver. Silver, we said, played an affiliated ball this season. The Chicago Cubs signed him off of the River City Rascals when he was hitting .455. Then the Cubs released him, and the Rascals re-signed him right before this series. Foss set. Here's the 2-2. And Silver grounds this one foul off to the left as well. And another 2-2 pitch will be on the way for Josh Ludi over there at first base. On the season, Ludi currently has 2 stolen bases on the year in 50 games played. Trevor Foss has his sign. He's set. Checks Ludi over there. And the 2-2 pitch. And this one grounded to second. Jamadrick Magruder has it to second for 1. On to first. And it's in time for the double play. 4-6-3. That leadoff base runner is erased. And now there are 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. And that'll ramp the left fielder Kyle Goodell. Goodell on the day so far is 0 for 1, and in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday ended up going 2 for 4, 2 singles, a run scored, and pop out and a fly out on the day. 2 outs, top of the fourth after that 4-6-3 double play by Josh Silver. Now Foss working with the bases empty and 2 outs. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Goodell takes that one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the left fielder for the River City Rascals. Goodell's been in left field in all 3 games. Here's the 0-1. And this one hits Goodell on the shoulder and then gets Kyle Pollock on the mask. So a hit by pitch for Trevor Foss allows a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Will Martin. Martin on the day so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and Martin in the second game of yesterday's doubleheader ended up going 1 for 3, a single, also walked and scored a run, struck out and grounded out in the ball game. Breaking ball getting away from Trevor Foss and hitting Goodell softly on the shoulder. Foss just could not locate a curveball there. No intent on that pitch. 2 outs, top of the fourth. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Will Martin digging in now. Kyle Pollock went out to talk to Trevor Foss for a brief moment, but now Pollock back behind the plate. Foss looking in, has his sign. He's set, checks first, and the pitch on the way. And Martin takes this one low and outside for a ball. Nice block by Kyle Pollock behind the plate. And the count goes to 1-0. Pollock very good defensively back there. Blocking pitches. Has 5 straight caught stealings on the season. Has been very good at handling the running game as well for his pitchers. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 men out. Trevor Foss has his sign. Checks first. He's set. And a throw over there. And Kyle Goodell getting back in safely. Goodell on the year currently has 18 stolen bases in 52 games, leads the team in that stolen base category. Will Martin at the plate. Foss has his sign. He's set, and the 1-0. And Martin takes this one outside for a ball. Foss falling behind here. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the first baseman for River City. Will Martin, standing at 6'4", 220, a resident of Tampa, Florida, and played for the Schaumburg Boomers a year ago. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 men out from Consol Energy Park. No score between the River City Rascals and your Washington Wild Things. Foss, another throw over to first, and Goodell once again back in there. Foss keeping a very close eye on Kyle Goodell over at first base. Leadoff man reached base in this inning after Josh Ludy singled. Then a 4-6-3 double play by Josh Silver erased Ludy. And then Kyle Goodell hit by pitch. He's on base. That pitch is outside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count. Trevor Foss does have a walk on the day. It was a 4-pitch walk back in inning number 1. You don't really see Trevor Foss as wild throughout this season. Only 10 walks and 87 in the third innings coming in to today. So far a walk already in this one. Foss has his sign. He's set, checks first, and the 3-0 offering. And Martin takes this one low, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk, has another man on. 2 outs, runners at first and second, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Clint Freeman. Freeman on the day so far 0 for 1, and in game 2 of the doubleheader last night ended up going 2 for 3. Doubled, singled, scored a run, hit a sac fly, and also flew out on the night. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Trevor Foss has runners at first and second. Neither reached courtesy to hit. Kyle Goodell at second got hit by a pitch, and Will Martin walked at first. Foss has his sign, checks Goodell, and a turn and a look back to second, but Goodell not going anywhere. 2 outs, top of the 4th. Wild Things making a signing today as Zach Fish signed with the team to back up Kyle Pollock. Talked to Fish before the game. Says he's very excited to be here in Washington and to get things going. Foss has his sign, checks Goodell in the pitch. And this one lined on the left field line. It's hooking, and it will go foul. And the count goes to 0-1 here on Clint Freeman. No balls and a strike. Freeman played both games at first base in last night's doubleheader. Tonight he is out in right field for River City. No balls, 1 strike here on Clint Freeman. Foss looking in. Has his sign, he's set, checks second, and the 0-1 pitch. And Freeman takes this one outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to Trevor Foss. Foss running into some trouble here in the 4th inning. Allowed the leadoff single to Josh Ludy. Then got the 4-6-3 double play by Josh Silver before he hit Kyle Goodell and walked Will Martin with 2 outs. That's how runners stand at first and second. Through the first 3 innings, the only base runner Foss allowed was the 2-out walk to Josh Silver in inning number 1. He had retired 7 straight River City Rascals before coming into this inning. The meeting on the mound's over. 1-1, 2 men out, top of the 4th. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Trevor Foss looking into Kyle Pollock. Runners at first and second. Kyle Goodell stands at second. Will Martin over there at first. Foss has his sign. He's set. And check to second. Here's the 1-1. And this ball hit the right field. Dave Popkins going back. Couple of steps on it, and he will make the catch for out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 3.5 the score, Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball going to the bottom of the 4th. And the score, River City nothing, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would go 1-2-3 as Kyle Pollock popped out, Austin Wobrock grounded out, and Jamadrick Magruder grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 4th, Ricky Rodriguez, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins, 2, 3, and 4, facing off against Tim Coons. And Coons so far has been very good, just allowed the first batter of the game to reach base, the leadoff walk by Jamadrick Magruder. Then he has retired 9 straight Washington Wild Things since that first inning. River City broke through with their first hit in the top of the 4th. So we'll see if the Wild Things can come through here in the bottom of inning number 4. Next Wild Things game tomorrow night, 8:05 first pitch, as your Wild Things will be in Southern Illinois to take on the Southern Illinois Miners. Game 1 of 3 out there in Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois just swept the Washington Wild Things here at Consol Energy Park over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the Wild Things look to take their revenge in Southern Illinois. First game tomorrow night, Sam Agnew-Whelan on the mound for the Wild Things, taking on Jarrett Miller for the Southern Illinois Miners. Ricky Rodriguez making his way to the plate here. He'll lead things off in the bottom of the 4th. Rodriguez so far 0 for 1. And in game 2 of that doubleheader last night, Rodriguez would go 0 for 2, a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout on the day. Tim Coons on the mound for River City. Coons looks in, has his sign, and the pitch coming to Rodriguez. And Rodriguez takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Ricky Rodriguez, all-star third baseman for the Wild Things. Stepping in with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th, looking for the first hit. Coons set, here's the 1-0, and that one's low for a ball as well. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count on Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been very good out of that number 2 spot this season, consistently getting on base and working his way on. Here's the pitch, and that one swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. Rodriguez currently hitting .297 on the year, and that is good for second on the team behind Jamadric Magruder. Magruder hitting, or third on the team, behind Magruder and Popkins. Magruder hitting .318, Popkins hitting .302. Coons has his sign, the 2-1, and this one grounded towards third. Handled by Martinez. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for your Wild Things, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 1. Flew out in inning number 1, and in game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, ended up going 0 for 3 with a ground out and 2 pop-outs in the game. 1 man out here in the bottom of the 4th. Grayson at the plate. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Pretty good crowd here in Consol Energy Park. About halfway full here on this Thursday night. Thirsty Thursday at Consol Energy Park. All beer and soda, just $1 for tonight's game. The pitch, and Grayson grounds this one to second. Merjano has it. He'll throw on to first. And with 1 pitch, there's the second out of this 4th inning. 2 up, 2 down for your Wild Things here in the 4th, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1, and in game 2 yesterday, that doubleheader went 0 for 1, popped out and walked twice in that one. 2 men out, bottom of the 4th. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Popkins making his way to the plate. Currently second on the team in average, hitting .302, and tied for the team lead in home runs with 8, leads the team in RBIs with 27. Tim Coons has his sign. He's setting the pitch. And Popkins down the right field line. This one's hooking and will go foul. No balls and a strike here on Dave Popkins. Looked like it was going to be a double off the bat. Unfortunately for Popkins, that one falling just foul by the Wild Things bullpen. So Popkins will have to step in and do it again. 0-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Wild Things still looking for their first hit against Tim Coons. River City got their first hit off of Trevor Foss in the top of this 4th inning. Coons has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And Popkins takes this next pitch low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. The only base runner for the Wild Things today, Jamadric Magruder. He walked to lead off the game. Coons has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And this one lined down the right field line, and that one's foul as well into the Wild Things bullpen, and the count goes to 1-2. 2 balls struck well by Dave Popkins, but unfortunately for him, ending up foul in the Wild Things bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out, bottom of the 4th. Tim Coons looks in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Popkins checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, says the home plate umpire. And that is out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Wild Things here in the 4th. And after 4 innings of play, the score, River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. Little ones need a break? Head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fifth, and the score: River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for River City. They got to Trevor Foss a little bit as Josh Ludy got the first hit of the game, a leadoff single. Then Josh Silver hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Kyle Goodell would be hit by a pitch, and Will Martin would walk. So there were runners at first and second with two men out, and then Clint Freeman would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the fifth, Danny Rosenbaum, Jason Merjano, and Braxton Martinez, 7, 8, and 9, facing off against Trevor Foss. Foss just that one hit through 4 innings of work to this point. He's been very good on the mound, throwing his most pitches in the game in an inning last inning with 18 pitches through 12 in the second, 12 in the third, and 9 pitches in inning number 1. Trevor Foss going through his warm-up tosses here, and the Washington Wild Things are offering a flex plan promotion. Get a 12-ticket plan for the price of a 10-ticket plan. Flex plans are great for people who have hectic schedules and can't take advantage of a typical season ticket package because they're not sure which games they can attend. A flex plan gets you ticket vouchers at a reduced cost, and you can redeem them whenever it's convenient for you. Call the box office today for more information. Stepping in to lead things off here in the fifth, Danny Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum 0 for 1 so far. Did not play in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. Foss set in the pitch, and Rosenbaum lines this one foul down the right field line. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Pitching duel here between Trevor Foss and Tim Coons, neither letting up. As Coons just allowed the one hit, or Coons is not allowed to hit. Foss is allowed just the one hit. Rosenbaum fouls this next pitch away off to the left, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, top of the fifth. No score between your Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Foss has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss by Rosenbaum. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here at the top of the fifth. Third strikeout of the day for Trevor Foss, and that'll bring it to the plate. Second baseman Jason Merjano. Merjano so far 0 for 1, grounded out in inning number 3, and Merjano in last night's game 2 of the doubleheader went 1 for 3, triple RBI, also struck out and grounded out on the day. 1 out here in the top of the fifth, no score. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike on Merjano. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 1 man out, top of the fifth, no score here at Consol Energy Park. Foss has his sign, the 0-1. And this one grounded towards second. Magruder handles it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the fifth, and that brings to the plate third baseman Braxton Martinez. Martinez so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout on the day. 2 outs, top of the fifth, no score between the River City Rascals and your Washington Wild Things. Both Trevor Foss and Tim Coons are working on the mound. As Braxton Martinez steps in, Foss looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Martinez takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Foss, just the 1 hit to this point, has walked 2 and struck out 3 in his outing so far through 4 2/3. Here's the 1-0, and that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count on Braxton Martinez. So Foss a little more wild than we're used to seeing, but still getting the job done on the mound to this point. Foss looks in, has his sign, and the 2-0. And this ball grounded to third. Rodriguez handles it on a hop, and he'll throw a bouncer to first. Uxa bobbles it initially, but makes the catch, and that is out number 3. 5-3 on the putout. 1-2-3 go the Rascals in the fifth, and after 4.5, the score. Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fifth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the River City Rascals nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, 1-2-3. Ricky Rodriguez grounded out, Chris Grayson grounded out, and Dave Popkins struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the fifth, Logan Uxa, Grant Fink, and Jimmy Yezzo, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Tim Coons. And Coons so far has been very good on the mound. His only base runner allowed is that walk in the first inning to Demondrick Magruder. Ever since then, has sat down 12 straight Washington Wild Things. Retired the last 3 hitters in that first inning, and has retired the Wild Things 1-2-3 since that fourth inning. Foss, on the other hand, just 1 hit through 5 innings of work, so both of these pitchers have been very good and very efficient on the mound to this point. The most taxing inning for Tim Coons so far has been the first and second inning. He threw 10 pitches each in those innings, threw 8 in the third and 9 in inning number 4. So Wild Things looking to get in the hit column here in the 5th inning. Logan Uxa striding to the plate now. Uxa so far 0 for 1, flew out in his first at-bat. And for Uxa, did not play in Game 2 of the doubleheader last night. Jimmy Yezzo was at first base, and Ricky Rodriguez held the designated hitter spot. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th, no score. Wild Things looking for their first hit. Coons has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Uxa takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count of the Wild Things first baseman. Jimmy Yezzo holds the DH spot tonight with Uxa out there in the field. Uxa's been spending more and more time at that first base bag. We see him working there in batting practice, and seems to be paying off so far. The 1-0, and that one's low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Had a tough time handling the throw in the dirt to end the top of the 5th inning, but regained it and got the out. Coons has his sign. Here's the 2-0. And Uxa takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count on Logan Uxa. First man up here in the bottom of the 5th. Wild Things still looking for their first hit on the evening. Coons is 2-1, and this one grounded to short. Handled there by Josh Silver. He throws on to first. A high throw, and it pulls the first baseman Martin off of the bag. So Logan Uxa will reach base. Second base runner for the Washington Wild Things. It will not be a hit, however. An E6 on Josh Silver allows Uxa to reach, and that'll bring up the left fielder Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. 0 for 3, struck out, hit into a double play, and flew out in that one. So leadoff man reaches base for the Wild Things for the second time today. Demondrick Magruder's walk in the first inning was the first time they reached. Now Uxa reaching on the air. Coons has his sign. He's setting the pitch, and Fink takes this one for a strike at the knees. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count of the Wild Things left fielder. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. No runs, 2 hits for the Rascals. No runs, no hits for your Wild Things. Coons has his sign. He's set, and the 0-1. And Fink grounds this one to third. Martinez charging, but this one will go foul, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here on Grant Fink. Wild Things trying to push a run across here in the bottom of the 5th. With the way both these starters are going, it might be 1-1 wins this ball game. It's both Trevor Foss and Tim Coons dealing on the mound through 4 innings for Coons, 5 innings for Foss. Coons looks in, checks Uxa at first, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And Fink a swing and a miss, so he strikes out, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Yezzo in Game 2 yesterday went 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a pop-out in that one. 5 strikeouts for Tim Coons on the night. Now 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Still no score between these two teams here at Consol Energy Park. Logan Uxa taking his lead from first. Coons has his sign. He's set. And the pitch to Yezzo. And this ball hit down the left field line. It's hooking. Goodell gives chase. And he's not going to get it as it'll go foul. And the count goes to 0-1 on Jimmy Yezzo. No balls and a strike. 1 man out. Logan Uxa standing at first base. He reached on an error to start this inning. Wild Things still looking for hit number 1. Kyle Goodell giving that one all he could. But that ball, unfortunately for him, just over the wall out there in left field in foul territory. No balls, 1 strike, 1 man out. Tim Coons looking in. Coons has his sign. He's set. Checks Uxa at first. And the 0-1. And Yezo, ground ball to second, handled by Merjano. He'll tag Uxa for one, throw on to first, and it's in time for the double play. 4-3 on the double play, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And after 5 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and still no score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Trevor Foss just allowing 1 hit on the night so far, on a roll as he's gone 5 shutout innings to this point, giving up no runs on just that 1 hit. Has walked 2 on the night and struck out 3 in the outing through 5 innings. He has also thrown just 59 pitches, so pitch count not a problem for Trevor Foss in this one. Foss back to his normal self. Had kind of a rough outing last time as he gave up 4 earned runs against the Southern Illinois Miners in 7 1/3 innings of work. So far riding the ship here tonight against River City. Last inning for River City, Danny Rosenbaum struck out to lead off things, and Jason Merjano grounded out, and Braxton Martinez grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the top of the 6th, Alexi Colon, Josh Ludy, and Josh Silver, 1, 2, and 3, facing off against Trevor Foss. Foss's warm-up tosses have concluded, and Alexi Colon is now striding to the plate. Colon so far in the day is 0 for 2, and combined in that double header yesterday, Colon ended up going 2 for 6 with a triple, a run scored, and also a double in the 2 games against the Wild Things. Alexi Colon at the plate, nobody out, top of the 6th, leadoff man Alexi Colon, just 1 hit for the River City Rascals so far in this one. Foss setting the pitch, and Colon takes this one on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the top of the 6th. No score. Foss has his sign. He's set, and the 0-1. And Colon grounds this one to second. Magruder charging. Has it. Throws on to first, and it's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 6th. As it's been in most innings, both these pitchers have been very good. The leadoff man has only reached base a total of 3 times combined between these 2 teams. As the Wild Things, Jamadric Magruder walked, Logan Uxa reached on an error, and for River City, a single by Josh Ludy, the only time their leadoff man has reached. And Ludy at the plate now. Ludy so far 1 for 2 in this one. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Ludy takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Ludy, the only hit in the game for either of these 2 teams. And it's funny, he's a hitting coach, so the hitting coach has the only hit for River City. The 1-0, and Ludy takes this one high for a ball as well. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the River City catcher. Saw him as a designated hitter in Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, then came back and caught Game 2. Here's the 2-0, and that one's inside as well. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count. Foss so far 2 walks, and both of those walks of the 4-pitch variety, so hopefully he can get back in the count here against Ludy. 3 balls, no strikes. Trevor Foss has his sign. Here it comes. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count. Total for River City today, they've had 4 base runners, courtesy of 1 hit. Your Washington Wild Things have had 2 base runners, no hits for them. Here's the 3-1, and that one's in there as well at the knees, so the count goes full 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Josh Silver, the on-deck hitter for the River City Rascals. Foss shakes off the first sign, now has one he likes. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And Ludy takes this one for a called strike 3 on the outside corner, and that's out number 2 here in the top of the 6th. Foss's 4th strikeout of the night, and that brings up the shortstop, Josh Silver. Silver so far 0 for 1 into a 4-6-3 double play, and walked so far in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Combined last night Josh Silver would end up going 1 for 7. Here's the pitch. Silver takes his swing and takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the River City shortstop. His third game back from affiliated ball. Here's the 1-0. And Silver takes this one as high as well. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Josh Silver. Silver played at single A for the Chicago Cubs. Was released by the Cubs and re-signed by the Rascals right before this series. Foss has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-0. And that one's inside for a ball, so the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count here on the shortstop, Josh Silver. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Foss has his sign. Here it comes. And that one's a called strike at the knees. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 here on Josh Silver. 2 up, 2 down so far in this 6th inning for Trevor Foss. Foss has his sign, the 3-1. And this one hit foul off to the right, so the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Kyle Goodell, the cleanup man, on deck for River City if Josh Silver should reach. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Foss has his sign. He's set, and the 3-2. And Silver chops this one foul at the plate, so the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. Trevor Foss snapping at that ball, wanted the out on that pitch, but unfortunately Silver just getting a piece of it there. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no score between the Wild Things and the Rascals. Foss has his sign, he's set. Here's the 3-2. And this one's fouled back to the screen, so the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. Trevor Foss leads this team with 62 strikeouts in the season and 87 and a third innings of work. Has 4 strikeouts so far today, so his season total up at 66 now. Looking for his 5th strikeout today. Here's the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. And this one lined to shortstop. Austin Wobrock coming in, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Rascals here in the 6th. And after 5.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the River City Rascals nothing. Wild Things got a base runner in last inning as Logan Uxa reached on an error. Grant Fink would strike out, and Jimmy Yezzo would hit into a 4-3 double play to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th for the Wild Things, Kyle Pollock, Austin Wobrock, and Jamadrick Magruder, 8-9-1. And Tim Coons so far has been fabulous on the mound. Has not given up a run in this one, has not given up a hit, has struck out 5, and has walked 1 in this game so far, and has only thrown 46 pitches through 5 innings against your Washington Wild Things. So the Wild Things trying to break through in both the run and hit column here in the bottom of inning number 6. Kyle Pollock making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the 6th inning. Pollock so far 0 for 1, and in game 2 of that doubleheader yesterday, Pollock would end up going 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out in that one. Nobody out bottom of the 6th. Still no score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Tim Coons, the right-hander on the mound, very good so far. No hits so far in this contest. Wild Things trying to clear that in this inning. Coons set. Here's the pitch, and Pollock takes this first one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things catcher. Only base runners on the day for the Wild Things, Jamadrick Magruder and Logan Uxa. Magruder walked. Uxa reached on an error. Coons set. Here's the 0-1. And Pollock takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Tim Coons lines up on the far left-hand side of the pitcher's mound, so might be causing some deception for these Wild Things hitters. The 1-1, and Pollock grounds it to short. Josh Silver has it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Washington Wild Things here in the bottom of the 6th, and that'll ramp the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 1 in Game 2 of that doubleheader yesterday. He went 0 for 2, grounded out and flew out in that contest. 1 out, bottom of the 6th, number 9 man in the Wild Things order. Second time through the Wild Things order. And still, they are hitless in this one. Tim Coons looking in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Wobrock takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Coons just 1 over the minimum here through 5 1/3 innings of work. Coons has his sign. He's set in the 1-0. And Wobrock hits this one to right center field and deep. Going back is Freeman, and he's not going to get it. And it'll bounce over the wall for a ground rule double for Austin Wobrock. The first hit of the day for your Washington Wild Things. They'll have a runner at second with 1 man out, and that'll bring to the plate second baseman Jamadric Magruder. Austin Wobrock gave that pitch a ride, lined it in the right center field gap, and got it down. Clint Freeman not able to run it down out there. It's the first hit given up by Tim Coons on the day, and Jamadric Magruder coming to the plate. Magruder so far 0 for 1, walked and grounded out in this contest, and combined in that doubleheader yesterday, Magruder ended up going 0 for 5 with a walk. Tim Coons looking in, having given up the first hit of the game. Wobrock stands on second, 1 man out. Coons has his sign, checks second, the pitch. And Magruder takes this one in the inside corner for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Now each team has 1 hit in this ball game. River City picked up their hit in the 4th. Your Wild Things getting their hit here in the bottom of the 6th. Coons has his sign, he's set. Checks second and the 0-1. And Magruder checks his swing, but he went around. Did he go around? Yes, says field umpire John Sapphire, and the count goes to 0-2. Magruder trying to hold up that swing. Robert Wrights didn't really get a good look at it, so appeal to the field umpire John Sapphire says he did go around. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Runner at second, Austin Wobrock. Coons set in the 0-2. And Magruder takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Jamadric Magruder trying to pick up his man from second base. First hit for the Washington Wild Things belongs to Austin Wobrock. Coons looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Magruder ground ball past a diving Martin into right, a base hit. Wobrock will be waved to the plate. Here comes the throw from Enslin, and it's wild. Wobrock scores, and your Wild Things take the lead here in the bottom of the 6th. It is 1-0 Wild Things. RBI single for Jamadric Magruder as your Wild Things take the lead. A great effort there by Will Martin at first base. Got past his outstretched glove and into right field. And the throw from Clint Freeman was wild, allowing Wobrock to score. Wild Things strike first. It is 1-0. And that brings to the plate third baseman Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the day 0 for 2 to this point. Magruder's 4th RBI of the season for the Wild Things. And Rodriguez combined in yesterday's doubleheader would end up going 1 for 5, a single and a walk. Coons has his sign, checks Magruder at first in the pitch. And Rodriguez a grounder to short. Silver has it, has no play at second, so he'll fire on to first. And that's in time for out number 2. 6-3 on the putout. Meanwhile, Magruder moving up to second base on the play. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 2. Flew out in the first and grounded out in inning number 4. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Wild Things get on the board as they lead this one 1-0 thanks to the RBI single by Jamadric Magruder that scored Austin Wobrock after Wobrock doubled. Chris Grayson to the plate. 2 outs here for Consol Energy Park and a 1-0 Wild Things lead. Coons looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks Magruder at second, and the pitch on the way. Grayson takes this one on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things center fielder. Grayson taking over that position since Jamal Austin retired earlier this season. Coons looking in, has his sign, he's set. Checks second and the 0-1. And Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So after Coons gave up that first hit of the ball game to Austin Wobrock, he gave up another hit to Jamadric Will Martin at first base doing all he could for that one. Tried to dive, but it was past his glove and allowed Wobrock to come in. The 1-1, and this one grounded up the middle, and that's a base hit. Magruder will be waved to the plate. There'll be no throw, and the Wild Things take a 2-0 lead on the RBI single by Chris Grayson. For Chris Grayson, it is his 6th RBI of the year. It's 2-0 Wild Things now here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things 3rd hit of the day, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout to this point. 2-0 Wild Things lead here in the bottom of the 6th over River City, with Chris Grayson picking up the team's 3rd hit, all 3 hits coming in this inning against Coons. Coons looking in. Checks Grayson at first, has his sign. He's set in the pitch. And Popkins takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count of the Wild Things right fielder. Chris Grayson at first base, tied for the team lead with 5 stolen bases on the year. Coons has his sign. He's set, and the 1-0. And Popkins a ground ball handled by second baseman Merjano. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. But the Wild Things do get 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 6 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Your Washington Wild Things return home July 26th through the 28th to start a 3-game series with the Normal Corn Belters. Action kicks off on Tuesday, July 26th for the first home game here at Consol Energy Park on the season. 7:05 first pitch. Come out and support Chris Grayson, Jamadrick Magruder, Ashton Parrott, and the rest of your Washington Wild Things. The series will continue Wednesday, July 27th at 7:05 for Bucket Hat Night. For $15, you get a bucket hat and a reserve seat ticket. The series will conclude on Thursday, July 28th. And for Thirsty Thursday, all beer and soda here at the park is just $1. Come out and support your Wild Things all season long. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Washington Wild Things Baseball, let's get wild. We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things Baseball, top of the 7th, and your Wild Things lead this one 2-0. Last inning for the River City Rascals. Foss retired him 1-2-3 as Alexi Colon grounded out. Then Josh Ludy struck out and Josh Silver popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the 7th, Kyle Goodell, Will Martin, and Clint Freeman, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Trevor Foss. Now, Foss in his first year with the Wild Things, it's his first ever start against River City, and I'd have to say a pretty good start to his career against these Rascals. 6 shutout innings, giving up just 1 hit on the night to this point. Kyle Goodell stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 7th. Goodell so far 0 for 1, popped out and was hit by a pitch earlier in this game. Top of the 7th, 2-0, your Washington Wild Things lead over the River City Rascals in this one. Foss set in the pitch. Goodell bunting, gets it down. Kyle Pollock out from behind the plate. His throw to first is not in time. It's an infield single for Kyle Goodell. The second hit of the day for River City, and they'll have the leadoff man on here in the top of the 7th. Goodell, a very good bunt, getting that one down the left field line and just getting it inside that foul line when Pollock fielded it. He had a chance at first, but it was going to be a bang-bang play, and Goodell able to beat it out. That'll bring up the first baseman, Will Martin. Martin so far 0 for 1, struck out and walked to this point. Goodell just getting the second hit of the day for these River City Rascals. Martin coming to the plate. Martin almost saved Jamadrick Magruder's single, but he was not able to, and that drove in the first run of the ball game for your Wild Things. They now lead at 2-0 here at Consol Energy Park. Trevor Foss looking into his catcher Pollock. Foss has his sign. He's set. Checks first and the pitch. And this one ground to short. Wobrock has it. The second for 1 on to first. And it's in time for the double play. 6-4-3. That erases the leadoff base runner. And there are now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Clint Freeman. Freeman so far on the day, 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out to this point. Just what Trevor Foss needed after allowing that leadoff bunt. He erases the bases, and now there are 2 outs and nobody on for Clint Freeman. 2 outs, top of the 7th, 2-0. Your Washington Wild Things leading in this one. Trevor Foss looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. Freeman grounds this one to second. Magruder has it. He'll throw on to first, and it is a 3-pitch inning for Trevor Foss. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. After 6.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, River City Rascals nothing. Right now, going to send you down to the field for the 7th inning stretch here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here in the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2 and the River City Rascals nothing. Wild Things getting on the board last inning. Kyle Pollock would ground out to start things, and Austin Woldbrock got the first hit for your Washington Wild Things, a line drive into the right center field gap for a double. It bounced over the wall for that ground rule double. And then the next batter, Jamadrick Magruder, an RBI single into right field past the diving glove of Will Martin, and that would make it 1-0 Wild Things. Then Ricky Rodriguez would ground out before Chris Grayson grounded a ball up the middle for an RBI single. That scored Magruder and made the score 2-0 Wild Things. Then Dave Popkins would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the 7th, Logan Uxa, Grant Fink, and Jimmy Yezzo, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Tim Coons. Now, Coons has made 2 career starts against the Wild Things. Actually been pretty good against the Wild Things. 1-0, 1.63 ERA. His last time out against Washington was on July 29th of 2015. Went 5 2/3 innings in that one, giving up just 1 run. It was earned on 6 hits, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. So far, has given up 2 earned runs here in this one through 6 innings of work, while striking out 5 and walking 1 on the day. Logan Uxa stepping in. Uxa to this point so far is 0 for 2, reached on an error and popped out. Uxa takes this first pitch outside for a ball, counts 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Logan Uxa. Uxa's been very patient at the plate, especially recently. Uxa is currently, 3rd on the team in walks with 14. And that one's in there for a strike, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes here on Logan Uxa. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things lead 2-0. Coons has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss by Uxa. He strikes out, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts on the day for Fink. 1 man out here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-0 Washington Wild Things leading over the River City Rascals. Wild Things 3 hits, all 3 hits coming last inning against starting pitcher Tim Coons. No action in either bullpen, as both Trevor Foss and Tim Coons have been on a roll today. Coons set, here's the pitch, and Fink lines this one down the left field line, and this ball is foul. Fink hitting that a couple inches foul of that foul pole. Would not have had home run distance, but it's a long strike 1, and the count swells to no balls and a strike. Grant Fink, a good piece of that baseball. Unfortunately for him, hooking foul, and he'll have to do it again. No balls and a strike. 1 man out here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-0. Your Washington Wild Things lead over the River City Rascals. Coons has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And Fink pops this one up. On the infield, going over is Marjano. Marjano calling for it, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 7th. That brings up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the 2nd and hit into a 4-3 double play in inning number 5. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, 2-0. Your Washington Wild Things lead over the River City Rascals. Wild Things try to improve their home record. Coming into tonight, their home record stands at 14-17, while on the road they are 14-9. So trying to play a little bit of baseball here at Consol Energy Park. Yezo takes his first pitch low for a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Jimmy Yezo in that designated hitter spot for your Wild Things. Coons has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And Yezo grounds this one up the middle. Merjano giving chase. He was in shallow right field, and he can't make the play. So it's a 2-out single for Jimmy Yezo. Gives the Wild Things a man on with 2 outs, and that brings up the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 0 for 2. Popped out in his first at-bat and grounded out in inning number 6. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. The 4th hit of the night coming courtesy of that Jimmy Yezo single. And there's a runner at first with 2 men out. Pollock at the plate. Coons looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Yezo at first. Yezo 2 stolen bases on the year. And here's Coons' pitch. Pollock a swing and a miss at a pitch outside. And the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things catcher. Zach Fish signed today as the backup catcher after Alex McKeon was put on the 60-day disabled list with a hand injury. So Zach Fish, signed yesterday from the Chicago White Sox organization. The 0-1, and Pollock lines this one into left field, and that'll be a base hit. So back-to-back 2-out singles have runners at first and second here, and that'll bring to the plate shortstop Austin Wolbrock. Wolbrock so far in the day, 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Wolbrock scored the first run of the game for these Washington Wild Things. Also got the first hit of the game last inning in the bottom of the 6th. Josh Ludy went out to have a conversation with Tim Coons. Now Ludy making his way back behind the plate. Runners at first and second. 2 outs here for the Wild Things. Jimmy Yezo standing at second. Kyle Pollock over at first. Each hit a 2-out single and is now on base for the Wild Things here in the 7th. Tim Coons looking in. Coons has his sign. He's set. Checks Yezo at second in the pitch. And Wolbrock takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Austin Wolbrock. Facing off against Tim Coons. And they're chanting RBI in the crowd. They want Wolbrock to add on here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch and a swing and a miss by Wolbrock there. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th. Jimmy Yezo, the runner at second. Kyle Pollock at first. 2-0 your Washington Wild Things lead over the River City Rascals. Tim Coons looking in. Coons has his sign. He's set. Checks second in the 0-2. And this one grounded towards the middle, giving chase to Silver. Sliding stop, and he doesn't have a play at first. Now Yezo being waved to the plate, and there'll be no throw. Jimmy Yezo scores, and the Wild Things lead it 3-0. Heads up base running there by Jimmy Yezo, scores him. It's an RBI single by Austin Wolbrock, and your Wild Things lead this one 3-0. That slow ground ball off the middle. Josh Silver had to slide to a knee to try to make the play, and as he did, manager Greg Langman at third base waved Yezo to the plate. Yezo with his speed getting in there and scoring and giving the Wild Things a 3-0 lead. That'll bring to the plate Jamadrick Magruder. 3 straight 2-out singles for the Wild Things has produced another run here in the bottom of the 7th. Tim Coons looking in. Has his sign. Checks Pollock at second. The pitch. And Magruder a ground ball to the right side. Merjano charging. Has it. Flipped to second. And that's in time for out number 3. Fielder's choice 4-6 on the putout, and that ends the inning. But the Wild Things add another run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 7 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers, expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 8th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the River City Rascals nothing. Trevor Foss back out there for his 8th inning of work, had a 3-pitch 7th inning as Kyle Goodell singled on the first pitch of the inning. Then the second pitch of the inning, Will Martin grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, and the third pitch of the inning, Clint Freeman grounded out to second to end the inning. Due up here in the 8th, Danny Rosenbaum, Jason Marzano, and Braxton Martinez, 7, 8, and 9, facing off against Trevor Foss. Foss here in the 8th inning, looking for his 8th complete game of the season, which would put him 1 game back of the record for complete games in the season. That record stands at 9, set back in the 2000 season. So Trevor Foss trying to get his 8th complete game of the year and would pick up his 8th win of the season if he can hold this 3-0 lead. Now, next Washington Wild Things broadcast tomorrow night, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be live from Southern Illinois as the Wild Things start a 3-game series with the Southern Illinois Miners. Currently, the Joliet Slammers, the team the Washington Wild Things are chasing, are playing those Southern Illinois Miners. Stepping in, the designated hitter, Danny Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum so far is 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout on the day. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Foss said, here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike at the knees, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Danny Rosenbaum. That game between the Miners and the Slammers currently in the top of the 2nd with Joliet leading 4-3. Here's the 0-1, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out top of the 8th. Foss in for his 8th inning of work. No sign of action in the Wild Things bullpen. Foss has his sign, the 1-1, and this one grounded foul at the plate, so it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Action out there in the River City bullpen as Jason Zardowski is warming up. So Jason Zardowski warming up out there for River City. Trevor Foss looking in. Foss has his sign. He's set in the pitch. And this ball grounded to third. Now Wolbrock will handle it short. Strong throw to first. And it's in time to get Rosenbaum for out number 1. A strong throw by Austin Wolbrock at that shortstop position. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Jason Marzano. Marzano so far 0 for 2. Grounded out in the third and grounded out in inning number 5. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. 3-0. Your Washington Wild Things lead over the River City Rascals here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Looking to take the series from the Rascals. Foss has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Marzano shows bunt, but takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jason Marzano. 1 out, top of the 8th. Trevor Foss on the hill, facing the number 8 hitter in the Rascals order. Foss has his sign, the 1-0. And Marzano takes this one for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 man out. No runs on 2 hits for the Rascals. 3 runs on 6 hits for your Washington Wild Things. Foss looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count here on Jason Marzano. Foss looking to get through his 8th inning of work. Only had to throw 3 pitches in the 7th inning. Foss has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this one lined into right field. Now Logan Uxa out there in shallow right makes the catch for out number 2. So Uxa making a heads-up play over there at first base, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Braxton Martinez. Martinez so far 0 for 2, struck out in the 3rd and grounded out in inning number 5. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. 3-0 your Wild Things leading over the River City Rascals. As Trevor Foss wipes his brow looking for another 1-2-3 inning here in the 8th inning. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on number 9 hitter Braxton Martinez. So far, 4 1-2-3 innings on the day for Trevor Foss. This pitch fouled away back into the seats, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 men out. Braxton Martinez at the plate, playing his 2nd straight game at third base for the River City Rascals. Third base in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, and did not play in Game 1 of the doubleheader last night. Here's the 1-1 from Foss, and that one's on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Braxton Martinez. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Trevor Foss looks into Kyle Pollock. Foss has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And this one's fouled away, so Martinez able to stay alive, keeping the count at 1-2. Trevor Foss trying to get through this 8th inning, and no action in the bullpen right now, so it looks like Foss will be given a chance to go for his 8th complete game of the season. Trevor Foss looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 2 strikes. Tried to get Martinez to bite on a curveball in the dirt. You'll see that a lot with 2 strikes and Trevor Foss on the mound. He'll go to that breaking ball and try to get opposing batters to chase in the dirt. Here's the 2-2. And this ball grounded towards third. Ricky Rodriguez handles it. Throw on to first. And it's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the River City Rascals here in the 8th. And after 7.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 3, River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 8th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the River City Rascals nothing. Pitching change for the River City Rascals is coming into this one, making his Rascals debut, is Jason Zardowski. Zardowski, as we said, making that Rascals debut, comes to the River City Rascals from the Lakewood Blue Claws of minor league baseball, the affiliated team, of the Philadelphia Phillies. And last season in 2015, he had a record of 4-1 with a 3.12 ERA, pitched in 34 games through 57 2/3 innings of work, gave up 36 hits, 20 runs, 20 earned, striking out 54 and walking 26 in a career 34 games played. So on Jason Zardowski making his River City Rascals debut, due up to face him for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 8th is Ricky Rodriguez, Chris Grayson, Dave Popkins, 2-3-4, facing off against Zardowski. So Zardowski, minor league career, 4-1, 3.12 ERA, 54 strikeouts and 26 walks in 57 2/3 innings. Ricky Rodriguez stepping in. Rodriguez so far 0 for 3, struck out in the first, grounded out in the fourth, and grounded out in inning number 6. 3-0 Wild Things here in the bottom of the 8th. Zardowski looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Zardowski has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike, so the count goes even at 1-1. Jason Zardowski, as we said, played for the Philadelphia Phillies minor league organization last year. Final line on Tim Coons. Coons went 7, gave up 3 runs, all earned on 6 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. The pitch, and Rodriguez fouls this one off. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Wild Things looking to add some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Trevor Foss will go for his 8th complete game of the season in the top of the 9th. No action in that Washington Wild Things bullpen right now. Here's Zardowski's 1-2, and this one lined towards center field. Colon coming in, he slides, and he's not going to make the catch as he trapped the ball. Rodriguez on with a leadoff single to start the bottom of inning number 8. Rodriguez reaches base on that single, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 1 for 3, RBI single in the 6th, also flew out in the 1st, and grounded out in inning number 4. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. A runner on for the Wild Things. Wild Things leading this one 3-0. 3 runs, 7 hits for your Wild Things. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for the River City Rascals. Jason Zardowski looking in. Zardowski has his sign. Checks Rodriguez at first, and the pitch on the way. And Grayson fouls this one off. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Rodriguez picks up the 7th hit of the night for your Washington Wild Things. All 7 hits coming after the 6th inning of play. As the Wild Things collected their first 3 hits in the 6th, picked up 3 more hits in the 7th, and now 1 hit here in inning number 8 as they look to add on to their 3-0 lead. Chris Grayson at the plate, facing off against Jason Zardowski. Zardowski in his River City Rascals 2016 debut. Ricky Rodriguez, the one runner at first. Grayson at the plate. Zardowski looking in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks Rodriguez at first, and the 0-1. And Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Chris Grayson. Grayson came into today's game hitting .286, good for 4th in average on this Washington Wild Things team. Leads the Wild Things in stolen bases. Zardowski has his sign and the 1-1. Taking off for second is Rodriguez. Pitches outside, the throw down, and it is not in time to get Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez in there with a stolen base. And the count now 2-1 on Chris Grayson, and the Wild Things have a runner in scoring position here with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th as they look to add on. Jason Zardowski on the mound for the River City Rascals, facing off against Chris Grayson. Ricky Rodriguez, the runner at second. Rodriguez's second stolen base of the year. Zardowski has his sign, the 2-1, and Grayson grounds this one foul off to the right, and the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, he's going to have to get a new bat as Grayson cracked his bat on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Wild Things looking to add on here against the River City Rascals, trying to take this series from River City. They won the first game of the doubleheader by a score of 2-0 and lost the second game last night by the score of 6-0. Jason Zardowski looks in. Zardowski has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez in the 2-2. And Grayson fouls this one off, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 on Chris Grayson. Grayson came to the Wild Things from the Sioux Falls Canaries. Hit 2 home runs and 9 RBIs with those Canaries this season. The 2 ball, 2 strike pitch is on the way after Zardowski looks in. Zardowski a long look to Ludi. Now he has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez and the 2-2. And Grayson takes this one way inside. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Jason Zardowski a little bit wild out of the River City Rascals bullpen as he gave up the leadoff single. Then Rodriguez stole second. Now a 3-2 count here to Chris Grayson. On deck for the Wild Things is right fielder Dave Popkins. Zardowski has his sign in the 3-2. And Grayson fouls this one back towards the press box. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. 9th pitch of this at-bat between Jason Zardowski and Chris Grayson coming up. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Wild Things looking to add on. They have an insurance run out there at second base. Zardowski has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And Grayson a ground ball to second. Merjano handles it. He'll throw on to first. And that's in time for out number 1. Meanwhile, moving up to third base is Ricky Rodriguez on the play. So a very productive out for Chris Grayson and made Zardowski work, as Zardowski had to throw 9 pitches in that at-bat, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a strikeout on the night for the Wild Things right fielder. Runner at third here with 1 man out, bottom of the 8th. Popkins will try to drive him in. Popkins leads this team with 27 RBIs on the season. So he's the guy to have up in this situation when you're looking for insurance runs. Jason Zardowski looking in. Zardowski has his sign. He's set. Checks third. And the pitch on the way. And Popkins takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Jason Zardowski a little bit wild here in his River City debut. Dave Popkins trying to take advantage of that wildness and get on base and possibly drive in a run. Zardowski has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Popkins a swing and a miss there, and the count goes to 1-1 strike. 1-1 the count. Talking to Dave Popkins earlier in the season, says he likes to get in deep counts, wait for a pitch he knows he can drive, and that's the key to his power game. 8 home runs this season, currently tied for the team lead. Had 20 homers a season ago that led the team as well. Zardowski set in the 1-1, and Popkins takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Dave Popkins. Ricky Rodriguez, the runner at third, led this inning off with a single, stole second, and moved up to third on the ground out by Chris Grayson. Infield in for the Rascals. Zardowski set, and the 2-1. And Popkins takes this one inside for a ball as well. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count on Dave Popkins. 1 out, bottom of the 8th, 3-0. Your Washington Wild Things leading over the River City Rascals. Jason Zardowski looks in, has his sign, checks Rodriguez at third, and the 3-1. And that one's outside ball 4. This time they just intentionally walked Popkins after getting to that 3-1 count. So Popkins reaches on the intentional walk. First and third, 1 man out, and that brings up the first baseman, Logan Uxa. Uxa so far 0 for 3. Flew out in the second, reached on an error in the 5th, and struck out in inning number 7. The intentional walk sets up the double play ball for River City as Uxa at the plate. Uxa, a candidate to do it, not very speedy, and can put the ball on the ground. First and third, 1 man out. Ricky Rodriguez at third, Dave Popkins at first. Zardowski set, and the pitch. And Uxa takes this first one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Logan Uxa, left-handed batter, facing against Jason Zardowski, the right-handed pitcher. Zardowski looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the 1-0. And Uxa fouls this one off to the left. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Logan Uxa out there at first base. Uxa and Yezo have been playing first base interchangeably. Yezo when a designated hitter, Uxa out there at first base, or vice versa. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man out. Zardowski looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1-1. And Uxa fouls this one off, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, the only out in this inning. The ground out by Chris Grayson that moved Ricky Rodriguez to third base. There's currently runners at first and third with 1 man out. Rodriguez at third and Dave Popkins standing over at first base. Looking in is Zardowski. To his catcher, Ludi. Zardowski has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Uxa again fouls this one off, so the count will remain 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Zardowski really having to work here in this 8th inning. Has not had it easy. Had a 4-pitch at-bat to start the inning, then a 9-pitch at-bat to Chris Grayson before a 5-pitch at-bat to Popkins, currently the 5th pitch of this at-bat. Zardowski looks in, has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Uxa takes it outside for a ball, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zardowski snapping at that ball as he's frustrated with himself here in the bottom of the 8th. Wild Things trying to add on. Runners at first and third. 1 man out. Uxa at the plate. Uxa has 9 RBIs on the season and 3 home runs. Zardowski has his sign. And the 2-2. And Uxa pops this one up. It'll go foul back behind the plate, so the count will remain 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Wild Things on the road. They'll leave right after this game for Southern Illinois. 3-game series out there against the Miners. Miners currently facing off against the Joliet Slammers. Zardowski looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And swing and a miss. Logan Uxa strikes out, and that is the 2nd out here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a pop-out on the day. 2 outs, runners at first and third. Fink going to try to pick up that RBI. Currently, Joliet still leading Southern Illinois 4-3 in the top of the 3rd. Other scores from around the league, Gateway and Traverse City tied at 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Lake Erie leading Evansville 4-1, and Normal leads Schaumburg by a score of 3-1. Zardowski has his sign, he's set. And the pitch on the way. And that was side for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count on Grant Fink. Zardowski really wild here in this appearance in the 8th inning as River City Rascals debut, but trying to limit the damage, just keeping those runners at first and third. Zardowski has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. And Fink a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count to Grant Fink. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. 3 runs, 7 hits for your Wild Things. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for the River City Rascals. This inning has now been a half an hour for Zardowski. Trevor Foss has been sitting in the dugout for a half hour now. The 1-1. And this one fouled away. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll see if the layover helps Trevor Foss or hurts Trevor Foss. As Zardowski struggling through this 8th inning. Still has not given up a run and has given up just 1 hit. That single by Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez at third. Popkins at first. Zardowski looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Popkins taking off for second. This one in the dirt. It gets away from Ludi. Rodriguez will try to score. The tag, and he is out. Ludi quickly getting to that ball. Rodriguez not scoring on the wild pitch, and that will end the inning. After 8 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the River City Rascals nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Your Washington Wild Things return home July 26th through the 28th to start a 3-game series with the Normal Corn Belters. Action kicks off on Tuesday, July 26th for the first home game here at Consol Energy Park on the season. 7:05 first pitch. Come out and support Chris Grayson, Jamadrick McGruder, Ashton Parrott, and the rest of your Washington Wild Things. The series will continue Wednesday, July 27th at 7:05 for Bucket Hat Night. For $15, you get a bucket hat and a reserve seat ticket. The series will conclude on Thursday, July 28th. And for Thirsty Thursday, all beer and soda here at the park is just $1. Come out and support your Wild Things all season long. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Washington Wild Things Baseball, let's get wild. We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things Baseball on to the top of the 9th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, River City Rascals nothing. Trevor Foss still out there looking for his 8th complete game of the season for your Washington Wild Things. If he can get it, it'll put him 1 behind the league record of 9 complete games. Last inning for River City, a 1-2-3 inning. Danny Rosenbaum grounded out to start the inning, then Jason Marjano lined out, and Braxton Martinez grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 9th, 1, 2, and 3, Alexi Colon, Josh Ludi, and Josh Silver facing off against Trevor Foss. Foss has been very good today, just giving up 2 hits, 1 hit given up in the 4th inning, and the other hit given up in the 7th. Ludi and Kyle Goodell own the only hits so far today against Trevor Foss. Alexi Colon stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 9th. Colon so far 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a pop-out on the day. Top of the 9th, 3-0 your Washington Wild Things lead, looking for their 29th win of the season. Trevor Foss looks in, has his sign, here's the pitch. And that one's just outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Alexi Colon. Foss falling behind the first hitter. Andrew Wick warming up in the Wild Things bullpen just in case. Foss has his sign, here's the 1-0. And this ball hit the center field. Going towards left center now. Grant Fink going under it. And he'll make the catch for out number 1. 2 pitches, 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And that'll bring up the catcher, Josh Ludi. Ludi so far 1 for 3. Grounded out in the first, single in the 4th. And struck out in inning number 6. 1 out, top of the 9th. Foss now 2 outs away from his 8th complete game of the season. Ludi owns 1 of the 2 hits for the River City Rascals tonight. As Wild Things defense playing straight up here against Ludi. Foss set, here's the pitch. And Ludi takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the River City Rascals catcher. Ludi also the hitting coach for these Rascals. Foss set in the 0-1. And Ludi fouls this one away. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Trevor Foss only 4 strikeouts on the day so far. Lower strikeout numbers, but getting outs when he needs them. in this one. One out top of the ninth, 3-0. Wild Things lead over the River City Rascals. Foss has his sign. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that one just inside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count, one man out. Top of the ninth here at Consol Energy Park. Foss has his sign, the 1-2. And this ball popped foul back into the seats. Count will remain 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Josh Ludy. One out top of the ninth. Foss looking for win number 8 on the season. Looking for complete game number 8 on the season as well. Foss looks in. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And Ludy takes this one high for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and one man out top of the ninth. Trevor Foss looking into Kyle Pollock. Foss has his sign, the 2-2. Swinging a ground ball to the mound. Foss has it. He'll flip onto first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Rascals here in the top of the ninth, and that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Josh Silver. Silver so far in the day is 0 for 2, walked in the first, into a 4-6-3 double play in the fourth, and popped out in inning number 6. 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Trevor Foss looking to close out his 8th complete game. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch. And it's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Trevor Foss does have 2 walks on the day. He's trying to get through this 9th inning and pick up his 8th complete game. Foss has his sign, the 1-0. And it hits Josh Silver. Second man Trevor Foss has hit today, so it's a 2-out base runner now for River City. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Kyle Goodell. Goodell so far 1 for 2, singled, popped out, and was hit by a pitch so far in this one. Second man Trevor Foss has hit on the day as a 2-out base runner for River City. And Kyle Goodell to the plate. Goodell so far in this one is 1 for 2, single, a pop out, and a hit by pitch. 2 men out here in the top of the ninth. Trevor Foss looking to close out his 8th complete game of the season. Foss looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. And the pitch. And Goodell takes his first pitch for a strike at the letters. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the River City left fielder. Wild Things looking to take the series from the Rascals. Foss looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. And Goodell ground ball foul. And the count out now goes to 0-2. Rascals down to their last strike in this one. Wild Things looking to pick up their 29th win of the season. 2 men out, top of the ninth, 3-0, your Washington Wild Things lead. Kyle Goodell, the cleanup hitter at the plate, down no balls and 2 strikes. Trevor Foss looking in. Foss has his sign, he's set. And the no ball, 2-strike pitch. And a swing and a chopper to third. Ricky Rodriguez charging, handles, throw to first. And it's not in time. Infield single for Kyle Goodell. So with 2 outs, they'll now be runners at first and third. And coming to the plate is Will Martin. Martin so far on the day, 0 for 2 strikeout, 6-4-3 double play, and also walked on the day. Trevor Foss now runners at first and third, 2 outs for the River City Rascals, trying to mount a comeback. Foss going to try to put a stop to that right here, right now. Last chance is Will Martin, as the River City Rascals were down to their last strike before Goodell chopping that infield single. Foss looking in, right-handed pitcher facing the right-handed batter, Will Martin. Foss has his sign. Checks Silver at third, and the pitch on the way. And that one's inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Trevor Foss running into some trouble here with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. 3-0 Wild Things lead, as Foss trying to get through this 9th inning and pick up his 8th complete game. Foss looks into Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And this one's in the dirt, blocked by Pollock. Count goes to 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes, and now Kyle Pollock goes out to have a talk with Trevor Foss. Foss with 2 outs, gave up a hit by pitch and a slow rolling infield single that Kyle Goodell was just able to beat out. That's how runners are at first and third with 2 outs in this top of the 9th inning. The meeting on the mound is concluded. Kyle Pollock coming back behind the plate. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The count here to Will Martin. Trevor Foss looking in. Foss has his sign. He's set. And the 2-0. And this one grounded to short. Austin Wolbrock has it. The short way to second. And you can put it in the books. Your Wild Things win. Final score, Wild Things 3 and the River City Rascals nothing. The winning pitcher, Trevor Foss, he goes to 8-3. The losing pitcher, Tim Coons falls to 3-4. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network. Coming up next, your Washington Wild Things postgame show. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score in this one, your Wild Things pick up the victory and the series win over the River City Rascals, winning this one by the score of 3-0. Winning pitcher Trevor Foss goes to 8-3. The losing pitcher Tim Coons falls to 3-4. Scoring recap coming up for you. Both starting pitchers were very good to begin this ball game. Neither allowed a hit through 3 innings of work. The first hit in this ball game came in inning number 4 against Trevor Foss. Josh Ludy singled to start the inning. Then Josh Silver hit into a 4-6-3 double play, erasing Josh Ludy. Kyle Goodell would be hit by a pitch, and then Will Martin would walk. So there were runners at first and second with 2 men out before Clint Freeman would fly out to end the inning. Then after that, Trevor Foss, 2 straight 1-2-3 innings in the 5th and 6th. The Wild Things with their first hit in this game in the bottom of inning number 6. Kyle Pollock grounded out to start things. And then Austin Wolbrock, a deep line drive into the right center field gap, bounced on the track and went over the wall for a ground rule double. You got the first hit out of the way for your Wild Things. Then Jamadrick Magruder, 1 batter later, a line drive to the right side past the outstretched glove of Will Martin at first base. It was an RBI single. Austin Wolbrock would score, and the Wild Things would take a 1-0 lead in this one. Then Ricky Rodriguez grounded out, and Chris Grayson came through with a ground ball at the middle of his own. That scored Magruder and made the score 2-0 Wild Things. Dave Popkins would ground out to end the inning. Wild Things would add on in the bottom of the 7th. Logan Uxa struck out to start things. Then Grant Fink popped out. Jimmy Yezzo came through with a 2-out single, followed by a 2-out single by Kyle Pollock. So there were runners at first and second with 2 men out. Then Austin Wolbrock, a slow roller towards the middle. It was a sliding stop by Josh Silver. Got to his feet, threw to first. Was not in time to get Austin Wolbrock on the play. Jimmy Yezzo hustling around third base, and he got in to score to give your Wild Things the 3-0 lead. An RBI single for Austin Wolbrock. Then Jamadrick Magruder hitting a fielder's choice to end the inning. Wild Things threatened to add on in the 8th against reliever Jason Zardowski. Final line on starting pitcher Tim Coons. Coons went 7, gave up 3 runs, all earned on 6 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts in the game. Zardowski had a rough 8th inning, however, gave a leadoff single to Ricky Rodriguez, then a 9-pitch at-bat before Chris Grayson grounded out for the first out of the inning. It moved a runner to third as Ricky Rodriguez stole second base prior to the groundouts. There's a runner at third with 1 man out. Dave Popkins would then reach on an intentional walk, first and third, with 1 man out. Then Logan Uxa struck out. And during the Grant Fink at-bat, there was a wild pitch. Rodriguez tried to score, and he would be thrown out at home plate by Josh Ludy to end the inning. Trevor Foss would then come in looking for his 8th complete game of the season, and he would get it in the bottom of the 9th. Alexi Colon flew out to start things. Josh Ludy would then ground out. Then River City made a push back in this game. Josh Silver was hit by a pitch, and Kyle Goodell singled. There were runners at first and third. with 2 outs, and then Will Martin grounded into the 6-4 fielder's choice that ended the game and gave your Wild Things the 3-0 win. So the Wild Things winning 3-0, improved to 29-26 on the year. Currently a half game back now of the first place Joliet Slammers. The score in Joliet between Southern Illinois and Joliet. Joliet leads it 4-3. Excuse me, 4-3 over in Joliet. Final line for Trevor Foss. Foss goes 9 innings, picking up the win, not giving up a run on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and he is your Washington Wild Things star of the game. Foss picking up his 8th win of the season, his 8th complete game. Now 8-3 that record goes to, and those 8 complete games put him now 1 game shy of the Frontier League record for complete games in a season. 9 is the record set back in the 2000 season. Trevor Foss's next start for the Wild Things, he'll try to tie the Frontier League record. If we do the math, that next start for Trevor Foss should come on Tuesday night against the Normal Corn Belters right here, July 26th at Consol Energy Park. So get your tickets to try and witness history. Foss looking to tie the Frontier League record for complete games in a season with 9. For tickets to that game, you can go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD for your chance to see Trevor Foss try to tie the Frontier League record in complete games. Winning pitcher is Trevor Foss today, goes to 8-3. Losing pitcher Tim Coons. Coons falls to 3-4 on the season. No save in this one. The next Wild Things game can be heard right here on the MSA Sports Network tomorrow night, 8:05 first pitch Eastern Time. We'll be live from Southern Illinois as your Washington Wild Things take on the Southern Illinois Miners in Game 1 of a 3-game series. 3 games out there in Southern Illinois before your Washington Wild Things head home July 26th through the 28th to take on the Normal Corn Belters. The Wild Things on their chase for the playoffs, just a half game back of the first place position in the Frontier League East. If Joliet loses to Southern Illinois tonight, your Wild Things will be tied for first, and since they own the season series over the Joliet Slammers, would be in first place in the Frontier League East standings. So the Washington Wild Things fighting for first place, fighting for a playoff spot. Tune in throughout the 2016 season and throughout the playoff race right here on the MSA Sports Network. I'll guide you through all of the action. But final score in tonight's game, the Wild Things are able to take the series from River City, winning Game 3 by the score of 3-0. Thanks for listening to the MSA Sports Network, and have a good night, everybody.